Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable the podcast. The camera's a little a little off center there. Well, maybe it's not the camera, maybe it's me. Anyway, uh Saturday, February the 1st. Hey, January is out of here. February. February. Oh, great. February. Great, great. Not my favorite month, but it's short. That's what I love about it. It's short. It's got big things in it. Super Bowl, President's Day, Valentine's Day, Lincoln's birthday, Washington's birthday, which we don't really celebrate. But uh it's short. Groundhog Day tomorrow. Oh. Um, 1 month to go until March, and then you might as well say it's spring. So this winter we're getting through it. Here in Pennsylvania, February is like our snowiest month, but I mean, it's not like it used to be. I mean, like unless you're like two, and it's like, think about it. When you were a kid, didn't we get more blizzards and more big snowstorms back then? Depending on where you live, but I don't know. It's just I'm not complaining really because snow is a pain in the butt, but you need a little bit. We need to clean the air and snow melts into the ground. It's good for the summertime, so everything's not burned up. Snow is good. Snow is good. But I don't know, we just don't get it like we used to. I climate change or I don't know why. It's just things are different, you know? Life changes, people change, the weather changes. Nothing stays the same forever, right? Now, all right. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Eagles today because about this big game coming up next week. But I'm starting to really think about it, break the game down. And I think just on the surface, next week, I'll be on all next week and we'll talk about every day as we lead up to the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about the matchups and the props. But I think there are two key things. There's a lot of key points, but two things. Basic things. Keep this in mind when you're watching the game next Sunday with me. Okay. To me, basically, very simply and easily, if the Eagles score 30 points in this game, they're going to win. Why? Because the Chiefs only scored 30 points in one game the entire season. And that was last week against Buffalo in the championship game. And they just about got that, right? What did they score? 31, 32 points. The Chiefs are not a big offensive team anymore. They don't have the weapons. They're not explosive. But you know what? The Chiefs just do enough to win. That's all they do. They need a field goal. They get it. The Chiefs have won 17 games in a row, one score games. That's incredible. If it's a close game, within a field goal, within a touchdown, chances are the Chiefs are going to win. It's their experience. They know what it takes to win. I think other than Patrick Mahomes, who we know is great, the coaches on that team are just great. Starting from Andy Reid to Spagnuolo and on down, right? The coaches are phenomenal. They win the close games. So that's why I'm thinking the Eagles, if they're going to win this game, and I think they will, they're going to win it by more than 3 or 7 points. Because again, it tells you history. If we learn anything from history, it's that if it's a close game, the Chiefs are going to win. So I'm kind of looking at Eagles 34. There's that 30, because we kind of know the Chiefs aren't going to get into the 30s. Eagles 34, Chiefs 23. Now that's 11-point difference. So that would play into my theory that not only do you need to score in the 30s, but it can't be a close game. It can't be. It can't be a close game. Not that the Eagles can't win a close game. They can. And all good things must come to an end, including this Chiefs streak. But I just think something like 34-23 is perfect because it covers all the bases. So Eagles got it, and their offense has been really good. I'm not expecting them to score 55 freaking points again, but the offense has been really good lately. So for the Eagles to score over 30 points, I think is good. I think they're going to do it. The Chiefs have a really good defense, but the Eagles offense is just humming along. And you got to use Saquon Barkley. Come on. I know the Chiefs have a good run stopping defense. I know they're going to put 8 or 9 men in the box. Steve Spagnuolo is going to come up with something. Yeah, look at Andy Reid. When he has 2 weeks to plan and the team's resting, he usually wins. Coming off of bye weeks, he is notorious for that. So when he has time to prepare, Andy Reid usually comes up with a good game plan. I just think the Eagles have to do what got them, which means running the ball, running the ball, running the ball. Saquon. Jalen Hurts, like he did last game, right? Take off. Quarterback draws, run option plays around the end. I don't mind Jalen Hurts running. I think it's good. You mix it in with some passes. A.J. Brown, we've been, who we've been overlooking? We're talking about Dallas Goedert having a big game, and I think he will because the Chiefs suck against tight ends. We're talking about, of course, Saquon Barkley having a big game because I think he will. That's what he does. We're talking about Jalen Hurts having a big game, and he's got to step up as the quarterback. This is the time, Jalen Hurts. You have got to step up. If you don't step up next week, there's going to be a label on you that you can't win the big game. You've got to step up, Jalen. A.J. Brown, of course, he's going to show in big games like this. He's going to show. But the one guy we are overlooking in this whole scenario is Devontae Smith. And the reason is this. Devontae Smith his hometown is only an hour away from New Orleans. He's from down there. He's going to have family at the game. And I think Devontae Smith's being overlooked a little. You got the big weapons, Barkley, Brown, Goddard. What about Devontae Smith? He can catch the ball. He's got speed. He could go for a touchdown at any time. His line is probably really low. I haven't even looked at it. It's probably only 40 or 50. I think he's going to have a good game just by the fact that I think the Chiefs may just really focus on Barkley. They're really going to try to clamp down A.J. Brown. I don't know what they can do about Dallas Goedert because, like I said, they are not good against tight ends. But I think the one guy that they may overlook is Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith, if they try to double up on A.J. Brown and they try to put 8 men in the box to stop Barkley, Devontae Smith may have some really, really great openings there, great matchups, right? He's the one guy I think you got to keep an eye on. Devontae Smith. The other thing is, again, keeping it simple, Eagles need to get the lead. They need to get the lead. You see how good the Eagles are when they get the lead? Yeah, like last week they were down 3-0 in Washington, but they came right back. First play, Barkley takes it to the house, 7-3. The Eagles just, when they get out in front, they can do whatever the hell they want to do, right? They can pound the ball with Barkley, especially in the second half, eat up the clock. And I'll tell you one way, my friends, one way to beat the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Think about this. Chiefs don't lose very often. really, they lost 2 games this year. And really, you might as well say 1 game because the last game, they didn't play their players. So in reality, the Chiefs only lost 1 game this year. And there's got to be a formula to beating the Chiefs. Here's what I think. Patrick Mahomes is great. He's going to do what it takes to win, whether it be by air or running the ball. Yeah, he's been running more often, and in the playoffs, you got a lot of these quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, who they saved themselves for this time of the year. Playoffs, they're going to take off, they're going to run. That's the same way with Patrick Mahomes. You think you've got so frustrating. You think you've got him bottled up in the pocket, right? You actually want him to throw the ball. And he gets out of there like a little cockroach and he's running around and then all of a sudden he's taken off and he's sliding in the middle of the field or he's running out of bounds, begging to get hit. But what I'm saying is that it's really hard to contain him. And he is so good at improvising. If he doesn't see something open, he's going to get Kelsey the ball in the middle. He's going to go against conventional wisdom and throw the ball against his body into the middle of the field to get Kelsey. Or he's going to flip the ball behind his back. You just don't know what he's going to do. You know, he treats the football like it's a frisbee. You know, it's not like a football where you throw it like this. He could throw it like this. He could throw this sidearm. I mean, you know, it's a ball. It doesn't matter how it gets there. It's a ball, you know? So he is one of the most unconventional quarterbacks you'll ever see. But he's smart and he's crafty and he's experienced and he knows what it takes to win. So back to my original point. It would behoove the Eagles to get the lead that Sunday. Then the Chiefs are playing on the Eagles' terms. You know what I mean? I don't know how good the Eagles would be catching up. Yet God forbid the Chiefs get off to like a 17-3 lead. How are the Eagles going to respond? You would hope they would respond by fighting and clawing their way back, not getting out of their game plan because I think they should still run the ball with Barkley because he is a home run hitter. You're running the ball, but he could break a 50, 60-yard one. It would be just like a TD pass. But yeah, I want to see it, but it would be interesting if the Eagles fell behind. How do they respond? But don't put that pressure on yourself. Don't have to come from behind against Kansas City. Get out in the lead and make Kansas City be the ones who are catching up. I mean, the Eagles have a much better run game than the Chiefs do. So if the Eagles get ahead, let's say by 10 points, like they were a couple Super Bowls ago, when they blew it at the end. All right, you get ahead by 10, you pretty much know what Kansas City's going to do. Kansas City's going to throw the ball. So with our secondary, Mitchell and DeJean and Blankenship, Slay, you shut these guys down. Now maybe you're not going to shut them down. Look what happened last week. Zach Ertz burned us for 10, 11 catches over 90 yards. And Travis Kelce is probably going to have a big game. He did not have a big game last week against Buffalo. He probably will this week because it's the Super Bowl. And the Eagles aren't that great against opposing teams. So, but what I'm saying is that you make Kansas City playing from behind, then you are dictating to the Chiefs. You are saying, all right, if you want to throw the ball, right? But we're going to take some of your game plan away from you. You're not going to be able to run like with Pacheco and Hunt and those guys. You're going to have to throw it almost every play. And still, Patrick Mahomes is going to be dangerous as hell. But at least you kind of know what's coming, you know? You got to, Eagles, you have got to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. You've got to. You can't let him sit back there in the pocket and pick you apart. Because this guy, he's like a Tom Brady. Tom Brady used to do that when he played for New England or Tampa Bay. He used to sit back there, and the Eagles would not pressure him, and he would just carve them apart like a soldier. So Mahomes is the same way. You've got to get some pressure on him. It's really hard to sack him, but you got to get your hands on him, knock him down a few times, make him know you were there, make him scramble out of the pocket, because even though he's great, no matter what, he could run, he could throw on a run. He's very creative, but you get him moving so he can't set his feet, and at least you have a shot, you know? So it's imperative for the Birds defensive line to get a rush on him. Now, the Eagles don't blitz that much. They don't. That's just not their scheme. But once in a while, you gotta throw a blitz in there and confuse Holmes. I mean, look at what the Chiefs did last week. 4th down play. Josh Allen has the ball near midfield. He's trying to take the Bills down for a game time field goal with only a few seconds left. So what happens? 4th down, the Chiefs go all out blitz, all out corner blitz. Spagnuolo said, let's get him. If we don't get him, at least we're going to make Allen rush the ball, throw the ball. Well, he did. He made a hell of a throw, and the tight end Kincaid dropped the ball. But that's the thing, that the Chiefs are putting pressure. They're forcing you to make a mistake. It's like the analogy in baseball that you are being aggressive and you are taking that extra base and you're trying to steal bases. It's because you want to put the pressure on the opposing pitcher. That's what I'm talking about. The Eagles must be aggressive. They can't play passive. Nick Sirianni usually is aggressive. He'll usually go for stuff on 4th down. And I like that because, God forbid, you cannot lay back. You can't lay back. You got to keep your foot on the pedal, especially if the Eagles get the lead. They have to keep their foot on the gas because Patrick Mahomes is not going to let up. And we know about the Chiefs. We know about the Chiefs from 2 years ago that they can catch up, that they can catch up with the foot. So if you even have the lead, don't go out of the box. Just don't keep your foot on the gas and keep piling up the points until there's absolutely no chance for them to come back. Because if you don't, if you lay back with all the preventive defense crap, the only good thing about a preventive defense is it prevents you to win. You got to do what got you, okay? And if you're aggressive defensively, rushing Patrick Mahomes, trying to sack him, trying to hurry his throws, on offense, you stay aggressive. You throw the ball, you run Barkley, but you take your shots with the rest of the guys, the receivers. But I just don't want all of a sudden Nick Sirianni crawling up into a cocoon there and saying, help me. We're going to let Patrick Mahomes do whatever the hell he wants to do? No. Stay aggressive, Nick Sirianni. Stay aggressive. So those are some of the basic keys of the game. And you look at it. Okay. Everywhere you look on the field, offense, defense, special teams, the Eagles were probably superior to the Chiefs. Now, that's saying a lot because the Chiefs are 2-time reigning Super Bowl champions, and they only lost 2 games during the regular season. So how can I say in every way the Eagles are superior? Well, I just did. Not looking at this way. Quarterback, no. You gave it to the Chiefs. And unfortunately, quarterback was like the key position So yeah, you got to give it to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and we happen to be playing him. And that's the thing. All these other great quarterbacks in the NFL, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, blah blah blah, Joe Burrow, they may all have to take a back seat until Patrick friggin' Mahomes retires, because it was just their luck that they end up playing in the era of one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But that's the way it is. And as I said before, if you're going to beat the Chiefs, you got to beat them. You can't just squeak by with 3 points. They have a way of winning those close games. You got to cut the head off the snake. I've said that before. You got to cut the head off and you got to crush it. You got to crush them. And as far as like next year is concerned, the way to beat the Chiefs and keep them out in the Super Bowl is to beat them in the regular season. Don't let them get home field advantage, or they only play like 2 games at Arrowhead, and they get all the calls. We know that. And God forbid you touch Patrick Mahomes. So the way to keep the Chiefs out in the Super Bowl really is to beat them in the regular season and make sure either they don't make it into the playoffs, or if they do, they got to play on the break. At least you have a chance to. So, got to stay aggressive, got to get ahead of the Chiefs. So let's go down the positions real quick here. So quarterback, yeah, you give it to the Chiefs. Okay. Running back, well, running game, you got to give it to Saquon Barkley. He's one of the greatest running backs in the NFL right now. So running game, that's the Eagles. Offensive line, Chiefs have a good offensive line, but the Eagles are better. They're just better. Like Johnson, Mulata, they're better. The one thing that concerns me is the center position. Is Cam Jerman's going to play? Is he well enough? But what about Landon Dickerson? Either to play center or guard. What about his D? Is he going to be able to play? How effective is he going to be? And that's a key. That's key because you want to protect Jalen Hurts, but you also want to open up the holes for Saquon Barkley. So normally I would say offensive line, give it to the Eagles. But we don't know about the injuries. We're going to find out, though, this coming week. Tight end is closer than you think. Dallas Goedert is a really good tight end. I guess you have to give it to Travis Kelce because he is a great, great player. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And he's probably not what he used to be, but he's still really good. And you can't let him go off. You can't let Travis Kelce have a 10-catch, 150-yard, 2-touchdown day. You can't do it. But Dallas Goedert's not that far off, But in fact, the Eagles just don't use him enough. And I've said this before. They don't use Dallas Goedert enough. Yeah, the Eagles have a lot of weapons. They have a lot. There's only one football, right? But to me, I would use Dallas Goedert. But I think they're going to use him a lot in this game because they know that the Chiefs are very good against tight ends. Now, wouldn't surprise me if Goddard got 6 or 7 catches this Super Bowl. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Wide receivers, definitely Eagles. I mean, AJ Brown, come on, Pro Bowler. But he's another guy I think the Eagles don't use enough. This guy, AJ Brown, could be like the #1 guy in the whole league if you give him the ball enough. He could be like 150, 200 yards almost every game. He's got breakaway speed. He's big. It's hard to tackle him. And then you got Devontae Smith, I think is very underrated as far as wide receivers concerned. So wide receivers go to the Eagles. You go to defense, defensive line. You know what? The Chiefs have a hell of a defensive line. They really do. But I like Harvey. I love Jalen Carter. He's playing out of his mind. He reminds you of another Reggie White, how aggressive he is. Jordan Davis is playing great. So I might say the defensive line is a wash. Yeah, because you got to give the Chiefs credit. They do have a good defensive line. They can stop the run and they get after the quarterback. Chris Jones, George Karlofa, or whatever the hell his name is, he's good. So you got to give it to them. Linebackers. I mean, I like Arnold. I like Zach Watt, who may be defense player of the year. It's a shame that N'Kobe Dean is out for the game. He's hurt. That's a shame because he played really well this year. But overall, I think I like the Eagles linebackers in the secondary. I love the Eagles secondary. I mean, Quinton Mitchell is a shutdown corner. He will shut you down. And I don't even know who you would consider the number one wide receiver in Kansas City. Is it Juju Schuster Smith? Is it Hollywood Brown? I mean, who is the number one receiver on the Chiefs? I mean, Travis Kelce is, but he's a tight end. He's not a wide receiver. So I'd give it to the Eagles there. Special teams. All right. You probably have to give it to Kansas City because Butker is probably better than Jake Elliott. What has gotten into Jake Elliott? Is he just older now and can't kick the balls as accurately as he did before and as far as he did? I don't know. I mean, to me, if it came down to the Eagles needing to win on a field goal last second of the game, I would put my money on Jake Elliott because he has always come through in the past. Now, the past is not today. I agree with you. But I still trust Jake Elliott. I don't know why he's having problems with the point afters and the long field goals. He's terrible this year. Anything over 50 yards. But don't forget one thing. The game is being played indoors. Jake Elliott is not going to have to worry about the cold and the snow on the ground when it's raining. These kids indoors, so he has no excuse not to kick well on February. So if you take all that into consideration, coaches, I'm sorry, I got to give it to the Chiefs. I like it, Nick Sirianni. I really like Vic Fangio, what he's done with the Eagles defense. And Kellen Moore is okay. I mean, if he leaves next Monday to take the jobs in New Orleans, I'm going to cry, you know, because I kind of think Frank Reich, the old wily veteran, might be in line to get the offensive coordinator job. Frank Reich hooking back up with Jalen Hurts again. Would that be something, that? But in the grand scheme of things, I got to give coaching to the Chiefs. Andy Reid, Spagnuolo, the rest of that kid. So on the whole, I think the Eagles have the better roster. Maybe when it comes down to, I say this begrudgingly as an Eagles fan, when it comes down to coaching and quarterback, which is the key position, not only in football, but probably in all sports, you got to give it to the Chiefs. But it's not like the Eagles have chopped liver. Nick Sirianni is a good coach. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. They're just not great. You know, they're just not great. Every player, every coach has a bad day, off day. But you gotta hope on February 9th, Andy Reid didn't take his medicine that day or something. I don't know. No. It's gonna be tough. Gonna be tough. I'm sticking with my 34-23 prediction because coaching can only go so far. The players have to play. They have to perform. You give the players the game plan, they got to get out on the field and they got to lay it down. They got to, it's the freaking Super Bowl, man. You got to lay it out. This is what you work for. This is why you go to training camp in the summertime and sweat your whatever off, right? This is what you do. This is why you have all those long practices during the year, and why you lift the weights, right? And you go to mini camp in the spring. This is it. This is it. This is the game. Every player in the NFL, the college ranks, even high school, would love to be the Super Bowl. And you just don't know when or if you're ever going to get back there again. So you lay it out all on the line. You put it out on the line and you say, this is it. This is it. This is for everything. You win that trophy, you win the championship, you bring it back to Philadelphia. You're always known as a winner. No matter what. You're always a winner. You carry that with you. Super Bowl winning Saquon Barkley. You carry it with you through the rest of your freaking life. Whether you become a broadcaster or whatever you do. You get a job in the media like Jason Kelsey. Whatever happens, you always have that by your name. Super Bowl winning, blah, 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 right? It's big. It's big. It's not life or death, but it is. It is. If you love sports, like I do, and if you love football, like I know a lot of you do, winning the Super Bowl is the ultimate. The ultimate. So we'll see what happens next week, huh? And all next week, I'll be off tomorrow. You think God rested something. All next week, we'll talk Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. I'll give you some more of my thoughts. We'll have some more Super Bowl prop bets that we'll talk about. And it should be fun. It should be fun. This is a position we are in, you and me, my friends. People watch me around Philadelphia area. The people who are Eagles fans out there. You may be in Australia right now, or over in the British Isles or wherever, and you're Eagles. And it's like, this is the moment. This is it. This is it. This is what we want as fans too. You know, this is why we go to the games, why we pay the money to get the tickets and the parking and the concessions, why we sit down in front of the TV every week and watch the games and get the gear, the hats and everything, right? This is it. The Super Bowl. And we got to enjoy it. Eagles win, it's just going to make it a better time. It's a time and a year we'll be talking about later on. 10 years from now, we'll be saying, wow, remember that Super Bowl 59 back in 2025? Wasn't that a great game? Wasn't that great? And the parade was great, huh? The parade, yeah. And the following year, Eagles put up the championship banner. They get their rings there. Oh, geez. So much that goes with it, right? You can't ask for more. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Peace and love. I will talk to you guys next week, Monday. Go Eagles. See you then. Bye.